Welcome to Headstones and Microphones, where we use AI to step into the past through a researched, first-person simulation of history's most interesting people. I am your host, Calvin. While we've added some creative storytelling, our goal is to inspire your own study of these fascinating lives. Now, let's meet our guest. I am absolutely honoured today to be sitting across from a true titan of industry, a man whose garage startup literally birthed Silicon Valley. For those who may somehow not know who you are you?
I'm David Packard. Most folks know me as the co-founder of the Hewlett-Packard company, or HP. I was also lucky enough to serve as the U.S. Deputy Secretary of Defense for a while. But at my core, I've always just been an engineer who loved building things that worked.
It's incredible to have you. Let's go back to the roots. When and where were you born?
I was born on September 7th, 1912, in Pueblo, Colorado.
What was your given name at birth?
Just David Packard. Straightforward and simple, just the way I like things.
What was your hometown like growing up?
Pueblo was a hard-working steel town. It wasn't fancy, but it was a great place for a curious boy. I spent a lot of time outdoors, fishing, hunting, and exploring. That rugged Colorado landscape really teaches you self-reliance and the value of a hard day's work.
What was your family life like?
My father was a lawyer, and my mother was a high school teacher. They valued education immensely. They encouraged my interests, even when I was blowing things up in the backyard or trying to build radios that probably shouldn't have worked.
What kind of kid were you?
I was a tinkerer. If it had gears or wires, I wanted to take it apart. I was also quite an athlete. I was tall and loved football and basketball. I think that mix of sports and science helped me learn how to work on a team later in life.
What did you dream of becoming as a child?
I always knew I wanted to be an engineer. I was fascinated by the way electricity could be harnessed to solve problems. I didn't necessarily dream of a giant corporation. I just wanted to build useful tools.
What were some of your favorite activities in school?
Science and math, naturally. But I also loved the radio club. Building crystal sets and trying to catch signals from far away felt like magic back then.
What was your first job?
After I finished at Stanford, I went to work for General Electric in Schenectady, New York. It was a great training ground, but I always had a feeling I wanted to do something on my own.
Was there a moment where you realized you were different from everyone else?
I don't know if I felt quote-unquote different, but I realized I had a very specific way of looking at leadership. I believed that if you treated people with respect and gave them the freedom to do their jobs, they'd do incredible things. That wasn't how most big companies were run back then.
What's a decision that changed everything for you, but felt small at the time?
Deciding to move back to Palo Alto and rent that tiny garage on Addison Avenue with my friend Bill Hewlett. It was just a place to store our tools and tinker, but that little shed became the birthplace of an entire industry.
What was your biggest break?
It had to be the order from Walt Disney. They needed 8 of our audio oscillators for their movie Fantasia. We were just 2 guys in a garage, and suddenly, we were supplying technology to one of the biggest studios in the world. That gave us the capital to really get moving.
What were your biggest struggles before success?
Money! We started with exactly $538 in that garage. Bill and I did everything. We were the engineers, the salesmen, and the janitors. We had to be incredibly disciplined with every penny.
Were there any specific daily habits or routines that you feel are essential to your success?
Management by walking around. I made it a point to get out of my office and talk to the folks on the assembly line and in the labs. You can't lead a company from behind a desk. You have to know the people and the products firsthand.
What job would you have had if fame never happened?
I probably would have been a rancher. I loved my ranch in California. There's something very honest about working the land and raising cattle.
Did fame bring happiness?
Success brought the ability to do good. My wife Lucille and I were able to start our foundation and the Monterey Bay Aquarium. Seeing those things flourish brought me much more happiness than fame ever did.
Who had the biggest influence on your life?
Bill Hewlett. Without a doubt. We were partners for over 50 years and never had a serious argument. We trusted each other implicitly. He was the technical genius and I focused on the business and the people, but we were a perfect match.
What was life like in your final years?
I stayed very active with my philanthropy and my ranch. I enjoyed seeing the company continue to innovate, but I also loved the quiet of the outdoors.
When and where did you pass away?
I passed away on March 26, 1996, in Stanford, California.
What's a random fact about you most people have never heard?
I was actually a very good track star in college. I was a champion in the shot put and discus. I think that competitive drive translated well to the business world.
What was your favorite food?
A simple, well-grilled steak. Maybe some fresh vegetables from the ranch. I never lost my taste for a good Western meal.
What advice would you give people chasing success?
Focus on the contribution you're making, not the money you're making. If you provide something of real value and treat your employees like human beings, the profit will take care of itself. And never lose your curiosity.
David, it has been a privilege. Do you have any closing remarks about the interview or the stories you shared that you would like to share with the listeners before we sign off?
Just that I hope people remember that big things often start small. Don't be afraid of the garage stage of your life. It's where the best ideas are born. Thank you for having me, Calvin. It's been a pleasure to tinker with these memories for a bit.
Thank you so much for joining us, David. Hearing how you and Bill built HP on a handshake and a dream is truly inspiring. And that wraps up another conversation from Beyond the Grave. Thanks for joining us on the Headstones and Microphones podcast. Remember, legends may die, but their stories never do. Please help spread the word by sharing and following the pod.